Space in the mid-range and connecting.
Did Christy Sides and the Indiana Fever just try to pull a fast one on Becky Hammon? The Aces coach thinks so, and she's not keeping quiet about it. Let's break down the drama that had WNBA Twitter buzzing. Picture this. It's a high-stakes game between the Aces and the Fever. The tension is thick in the air. Suddenly, Becky Hammon erupts. She's yelling, gesturing wildly, and before you know it, bam! Technical foul. But that's just the beginning. You know what's crazier? What Hammon said after the game. I can't tell you everything yet, but trust me, it's shocking. This isn't just about one game or one call. It's about the heart of WNBA competition. It's about how far coaches will go to win and how much it matters to them. So why did Hammon lose it? What did Sides do that got under her skin so bad? And how did this moment change the game? Stick around, because we're diving deep into this WNBA drama. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Time is money in basketball, but can you really steal it? That's exactly what Becky Hammon accused Christy Sides of doing. The clock controversy that erupted is shaking up the WNBA, and it's got everyone talking about the line between smart coaching and unfair play. So what exactly happened? Picture this. It's a tight game between the Aces and the Fever. Every possession counts. Suddenly, Hammon notices something fishy. The Fever are taking their sweet time getting the ball inbounds. Not just once, but over and over again. Now you might think, what's the big deal? Well, in basketball, those precious seconds add up. It's like death by 1,000 paper cuts. Each time the Fever delayed, they were eating away at the Aces' chances to mount a comeback. Hammon wasn't having it. She exploded on the sidelines, yelling at the refs and gesturing wildly. You could practically see the steam coming out of her ears. And then, bam! Technical foul. But Hammon didn't stop there. After the game, she let loose in the press conference. Her words, they were like verbal daggers. "I thought it was Bush League," Hammon said, her voice dripping with frustration. "I thought it was a bad look for the franchise, for the league." Ouch. That's not just throwing shade, that's dropping a whole forest on the Fever. Hammon wasn't done. She went on to say, if that's how they want to play it, then we'll adjust accordingly. Translation, game on. The Aces aren't going to forget this anytime soon. Now, you might be wondering, is this really such a big deal? In the WNBA, where every game counts and playoff spots are fought for tooth and nail, you bet it is. This isn't just about one game or one call. It's about the integrity of the sport. Think about it. If teams start using these delay tactics regularly, games could turn into snooze fests. Nobody wants to watch players stand around while the clock ticks down. It's not good for the fans, it's not good for the players, and it's definitely not good for the league. But here's where it gets really interesting. This moment doesn't just show how competitive the WNBA is. It shines a spotlight on the mental chess match that happens between coaches every single game. Sides saw an opportunity to gain an edge, and she took it. Hammon caught on and called her out. It's like a high-stakes poker game, but instead of cards, they're playing with time itself. And let's not forget about the players caught in the middle of all this. They're the ones who have to execute these strategies, whether they agree with them or not. It puts them in a tough spot, torn between following their coach's orders and maintaining their own sense of sportsmanship. While players struggled with the ethics of time-wasting tactics, Hammon was cooking up a different strategy altogether. Her focus, a defensive plan so intense, it's got the entire league on edge. You know what they say, the best offense is a good defense. And Becky Hammon, she's taking that to a whole new level. After that heated game against the Fever, Hammon didn't just sit back and stew. Nah, she turned that frustration into fuel. She got her team fired up about defense like never before. And let me tell you, it's paying off big time. The Aces aren't just good on defense now. They're the best in the league. That's right, numero uno. Their defensive rating, it's off the charts. They're shutting down opponents left and right, making it look easy. But here's the thing, it's not easy. Not at all. Hammon's got these ladies working harder than ever. She's drilling them on positioning, communication, and anticipation. It's like she's turned the court into a chessboard, and her players are always 3 moves ahead. And you know who's really stepping up? Jackie Young. This girl is a defensive machine. Hammon put her on Caitlin Clark, and man, did she deliver. Clark's one of the hottest rookies in the league, but Young made her work for every single point. Guarding a star like Clark, it's not just physical, it's mental too. You've got to stay focused every second, predict her moves, and never let up. Young did all that and more. She was like a shadow, never giving Clark an inch. Hammon couldn't stop raving about her team's defense after the game. She was practically glowing when she said, "I'm just really proud of our defensive effort." You could tell this wasn't just coach speak. Hammon meant every word. But here's where it gets really interesting. Hammon's not just changing her team, she's changing the whole game. Other coaches are starting to take notice. They're seeing how the Aces defense is winning games and they're scrambling to catch up. It's like Hammon set off a defensive arms race in the WNBA. Suddenly, everyone's talking about steals, blocks, and defensive ratings. It's not just about who can score the most anymore. It's about who can stop the other team from scoring. And you know what? The fans are loving it. There's something exciting about watching a team lock down on defense. Every steal, every blocked shot, it gets the crowd on their feet. The Aces are turning defense into a spectator sport. The Aces defense is on fire, but there's more to their success than just blocking shots. What if I told you Becky Hammon's real superpower isn't her playbook, but something completely unexpected? You see, Hammon isn't just building a team, she's creating a family, and that's what's making the Aces more than just a group of talented players. It's turning them into a force to be reckoned with. Hammon's coaching philosophy goes way beyond X's and O's. She's all about building relationships and trust. It's like she's got this sixth sense for understanding her players, not just as athletes, but as people. Take Asia Wilson, for example. Hammon can't stop raving about her. She's not just calling her the best player in the world. That's old news. No, Hammon's saying something even more powerful. She's talking about how Wilson's teammates absolutely adore her. That's huge. In a sport where egos can clash and tensions can run high, having a star player who's beloved by her team, that's like finding a unicorn. It changes everything. But it's not just about Wilson. Hammon's approach is all about caring for her players as people first, athletes second. And you know what? It's working like magic on the court. Think about it. When you know your coach has your back, not just as a player, but as a person, it changes how you play. You're not just out there for yourself anymore. You're out there for your team, for your coach, for this family you've become a part of. That's why the Aces aren't just winning games. They're dominating. They're playing with a level of trust and cohesion that's scary to watch if you're on the other team. And here's the kicker. This isn't just a flash in the pan. Hammon's building something that could last for years. She's creating a culture where players want to come and stay, where they know they'll be valued as people, not just for their stats. It's like Hammon's unlocked this secret formula. Defense plus relationship plus trust, Durham's championship, and the rest of the league, they're scrambling to catch up. But here's the thing, you can't just copy and paste this approach. It's not about following a checklist. It's about genuine care, about creating real connections, and that's something you can't fake. So yeah, the Aces defense is impressive. Their offense is killer. But their secret weapon, it's the bonds they're forming off the court. It's the culture Hammon's building. And that might just be the most powerful force in the WNBA right now.